So this is the listing agreement that you'll fill out between you and a seller when putting it on the market. The legal description can be found on the matrix page here, as well as the tax record by clicking the black TX right here. When you do that, it will open up in a new tab, and you can begin listing anything that you need here. Seller's name are usually at the top. So the way to fill this out would be, all right, based on the tax roll, looks like lots 12 and 13 on block 1. So it'd be lots 12 and 13, block 1. And then what goes in the next is the legal description. So you have that already. So it'd be acre S 0.21. And then you paste that here. Known as, and then address and zip code, and then zip code. Exclusion, so you're asking the seller, hey seller, is there anything that's affixed to the property that will not convey with the sale of the home? Like if they have speakers in the living room from a surround sound, or what else might be affixed? Oh, TV wall mounts, any of that stuff. The seller's going to take it with them. He or she must list those things as exclusions here. This is if the home is in an HOA or not. You would make your selection. This is the list price. This is when the listing begins. So I would recommend, if you're going on the listing today, then you want to make the listing start today, and give yourself maybe 3 to 6 months. Now, when it comes to broker compensation, typically we're going to charge the seller 6%. County, this is asking how to pay the broker itself, and this is always going to be Harris County. Listing services. This is pretty important. I always recommend people start the contract date today, even if the seller says, I'm wanting to put this on the market later. That's fine. Have the listing agreement signed for the day you're there, and then you make the selection. Broker will file this listing on the MLS. Like, it's going to go live, and then it asks by when. Is it going to happen within 5 days, or is it going to happen much later? In this case, it's saying don't put it on the MLS until X amount of days. So say it's going to take 2 weeks to paint. So maybe you say, okay, this will go live within 20 days. And then you give the reason here. So maybe seller wishes to paint. So typically it's going to be this box though when putting up a new listing, within 5 days after the listing agreement has been signed. Now, access to the property, what scheduling companies you're going to use typically. Out here we use Showing Time. This is a showing concierge where other agents have to submit their showing request through here. This is saying that you are authorized to place a key box on the property. So here it's how much you're going to pay the other party. Now, I haven't gotten super clear on this. I should definitely ask our risk management officer. However, I've been putting 3% if the other broker represents the buyer, 0% if the broker is a sub-agent, so non-MLS broker. So those brokers who are not registered with HAR, how much would I compensate them? I'd say 3, and if that broker is a sub-agent, probably 0. So intermediary status says that the broker may show the property to interested buyers who the broker represents. So if I have the listing and say another agent from the market center has a buyer, and since they're from the same market center, by choosing intermediary status, you're giving that other agent permission to show your listing. It's pretty uncommon if somebody makes a different selection. So here's how you market the property with the following financing options. So if the seller is open to having a conventional loan, VA loan, FHA, or cash, or Texans veterans. So for special provisions, you always want to consult your risk management officer. That's Marilyn O'Neill at this case in signature. If you have a seller wanting to put in anything here, you have some ideas, run it by Marilyn so she can give you the best language to use, or at least show you that a lot of the times people already have the stuff they want to put in here already in the contract somewhere. So basically this only has to do with documents that are going to be part of the listing. So a lot of the times it's definitely going to be seller's disclosure, and sometimes it'll be the MUD disclosure or water district notice. So paragraph I is talking about if the seller is a foreign person, so you would select is, and if they're not, you would select is not. And so you're typically going to sign as the broker's associate.